Growing up, parents got me a guitar. Said you could do anything, kid, you could go far. You could be the president, fireman, race cars. The sky's the limit, kid, so shoot for the stars. So I strummed that guitar every day. Found the passion for music never went away. I joined a couple bands and played a few shows. Tried to impress the girl in the front row, but soon enough everything starts to change.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in this video we will be discussing the important topics from pharmaceutical inorganic chemistry. And apart from the topics that I discuss, in case you have any doubts, then let me know in the comment section below. Also, you have my mail ID in the description box below in case you want me to share my notes. So without any further ado, let us start. Okay, so first one is errors. So errors in analysis, in this you will have the difference between accuracy and precision, which is very important even in PharmD third year when you will have pharmaceutical analysis. At that time you will learn more about accuracy and precision. Then types of errors, loads of time a note is asked on write a note on types of errors, so that is very much important. There are at least I think 20 types of errors. So they are important. Methods of expressing precision, test for rejection of data. Test for rejection of data is important. Then there are significant figures, rounding of figures and confidence limits. So rounding of figures and significant figures you have already learnt earlier in class 11th or 10th, so that won't be a problem. But from the chapter of errors, types of errors, test for rejection of data, difference between accuracy and precision, and confidence limits is important. Also you should know the definition of what is error. Then in volumetric analysis we have acid-base titration, redox titration, non-aqueous titration, arganometric or precipitation titrations, and complexometric titration. So from all these, complexometric, redox and acid-base titrations are very important. Especially in acid-base we have Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. So its derivation can come and the equation itself is very much important. You have already learned this equation in class 11th and 12th. Also redox reaction we have performed in 11th 12th chemistry. So in acid-base titration we have relative strength and its effect on titration. Then common ion effect. Common ion effect along with its example is asked. pH, Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, buffers, neutralization curve, acid-base indicators. Yeah, so you should know which indicator can be used when. Then theory of indicators. There are two types of theory of indicator. One is Oswald's theory and one is some other theory. So those two theories are important. Then back titration, biphasic titration, pharmacopoeial application, hydrolysis of salt, ionic products of water, and law of mass action. Ionic products of water is also again important. Back titration, you should know what is it, because as I said, in third standard we have pharmaceutical analysis, so in that also back titrations are very much important, especially when it comes to assay. Then redox titration. Theory of redox titration, redox indicators. So there are different indicators for acid-base reaction, for redox reaction. Types of redox titration: ideometry, sedimetry, mercurymetry, diazotization, nitrite titrations. Diazotization, you already know what is it because of 11th-12th biochemistry. So diazotization, nitrite titrations are important. 2,6-dichlorophenol, indophenol titration. Then titration, here titration curve is important, and calculation of potentials during the course of titration. So that is important. And for the important books of pharmaceutical inorganic chemistry, I have already discussed in one of my previous videos, so you can refer that. I will link that video in my description, or it will be here somewhere in the I button. Then we have non-aqueous titrations, non-aqueous solvent, titrant and indicators, and differentiating and leveling solvent. Here differentiating and leveling solvent is very important. Then arganometric or precipitation titration. Here we have Morse, Fajans and Volhard's methods. These methods are sometimes asked. Sometimes, especially we have 6-mark questions, so sometimes it is asked write a short note on Morse, Fajans or Volhard method, or simply write a note on arganometric or precipitation titration. Or if they are clubbing the question with some other question, then they can ask individual. For example, write a note on Morse method or Fajans method or Volhard method. Then we have complexometric titration, which is again important. Here we have theory of titrant, theory of titrations, titrants, indicators, and pharmacopoeial application. Pharmacopoeial applications are very much important. They will help you in third year, fourth, fifth years. Then next, third topic, we have gravimetric analysis. So it is not that important, but you should know what is it, what are the different types of analysis, and you should know at least one examples from each. Then in gravimetric analysis we have stability, solubility products, type of precipitation, precipitation techniques and pharmacopoeial application. So precipitation techniques and pharmacopoeial application are again important. All these titrations you will be learning in your practical also. So when you are doing practical, you should remember that under what kind of titration, what kind of substrates we use or what kind of titration we actually perform. Suppose gravimetric analysis है, तो इसमें अपन ने कौन सा कंपाउंड किसके साथ टाइट्रेट किया था, that you should know. If you know that, then you will come to know about pharmacopoeial application also, because most of the titrations they are used in assay. Then we have impurities in pharmaceuticals, which is very important. Here sources of impurities, test for purity and identity. Here limit test for iron, arsenic, lead, heavy metal, chloride, sulfate is very important, and the same thing, that is limit test of these metals will also come during your practicals. So if you remember the practicals theory, then you won't have much problem here. Then we have gases and vapors. Here you will learn about oxygen, anesthetics and primary and respiratory stimulants. Acidifying agents, here dilute HCl. Antacids is again important. Every 2 years at least one question is asked about antacids. Write a note on antacid or combination of antacids, or write a note on aluminium compounds used in antacid or magnesium compounds used in antacid, or ideal characteristics of an antacid, and then types of antacids. So antacids is important. Then we have cathartics. So here we have classification: magnesium hydroxide, magnesium sulfate, sodium phosphate, dried sodium phosphate, sodium potassium tartrate, potassium bitartrate, etc. Then we have major intra and extracellular electrolytes. This is again important, especially इसमें ORS का आता है. So that, write a note on ORS, it is asked a lot of times, so that is important. Apart from that, we have physiological ions, electrolytes used for replacement therapy, that is ORS. Then acid base balance is very much important, and so is combination therapy. Then essential and trace elements, transition elements and their compounds of pharmaceutical importance. Here we have iron and hematics and mineral supplement. Then we have antimicrobials and pharmaceutical aids used in pharmaceutical industry, such as antioxidant, preservative, filtrate, adsorbent, diluent. So इन सब में से किसी भी एक पे mainly short note पूछ, write a short note on diluents or adsorbents or preservatives. Mainly preservatives is asked. Then dental products is important. Again, every 2 years at least one question is asked. Write a note on dentifrices or anticaries agents. Or a question can come like that, or any compound they will mention and they will ask you what is the significance of this compound in dental products, like what is the significance of fluorine in dental products, etc. Then miscellaneous agents are important. In that we have sclerosing agent, expectorant, emetics, poisons, antidotes and sedatives. So antidotes, poisons, emetics, expectorant, sclerosing agent, sedatives. All these are important. किसी में भी short note पूछ लेता है. Then we have inorganic radiopharmaceuticals. Here nuclear radiopharmaceutical reaction nomenclature is not that important, but you should know how it is done. Methods of obtaining the standard units of reactivity. There are loads of standard units of reactivity which you should be knowing. Then how is measurement taken of the radiopharmaceutical activity, clinical application and dosage, then hazard precaution. These 4 topics are important, that is clinical applications and dosage, hazards and precautions in inorganic radiopharmaceuticals. Also you should be knowing about nuclear radiopharmaceuticals and nomenclature. So from pharmaceutical inorganic chemistry, miscellaneous agents, that is sclerosing agent, expectorant, emetics, poisons, antidote, sedative, that is 14th number of chapter is important. Then we have major intra and extracellular electrolytes. इसमें electrolytes used for fluid replacement therapy and acid base balance and physiological ions is important. Then we have impurities in pharmaceuticals. So mainly limit tests are important here. Sources of impurities, test for impurity and identification is important. Then we have complexometric titration, which is important. Then redox titration and acid base titration is the most important. So that is it for pharmaceutical inorganic chemistry. If you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you want me to share my notes, then you can mail me. So about answering the two questions from the comment section. So first is, please share some information on PharmD PB. So yeah, I'm already making notes for this video. This video will be up very soon, that is on PharmD PB. I'll discuss about it. And also loads of you have asked where to get PharmD material from, so that video also will be coming up soon. Then we have from Arjun Haldar, can I open medical store after PharmD? Please reply yes, you can open a medical store after PharmD once you have received the license. So that is it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, and if it helped you, then please don't forget to share my videos. This is Sakshi Patel signing off and asking you to subscribe to our channel.